We often come home at the end of a long day, feeling the weight of the world on our shoulders. We speak not just to share our burdens, but to be truly felt and understood. Yet how often do we find ourselves met with quick-fire advice or solutions? Have you tried this? Or what if you just did that? In those moments, something inside us tightens. We weren't asking for answers. We were asking for presence. This simple yet profound interaction reveals a deeper truth about human connection. Modern psychology is just beginning to articulate what the prophetic tradition has embodied for centuries: the importance of truly listening. Think about it. When we communicate, we're not just having one conversation. There are layers at play. First, there's the practical conversation. What's the issue? What needs to be done? Then, there's the emotional conversation. How do I feel? Do you understand me? And finally, the social conversation. Who are we to each other? Do I matter to you? When we enter a discussion from different layers, connection collapses. One person is trying to fix, while the other is simply trying to feel. It's not disagreement that's tragic, it's misalignment. Let's consider a modern story that reveals this ancient truth. A cancer surgeon in New York noticed something troubling. He would tell patients with slow-growing prostate tumors that they didn't need surgery. Monitoring was enough. They would nod, leave, and then return, demanding surgery. The issue wasn't intelligence or fear, it was conversation. He realized he was assuming they wanted medical answers, when in fact they were grappling with existential questions. So, he changed his approach. He began with one simple question. What does this diagnosis mean to you? One patient spoke for 8 minutes, sharing about his father's early death, feelings of irrelevance at work, and concerns for his grandchildren's future. He never mentioned pain or treatment. What he needed was not medical clarity, he needed to be heard. Only after that emotional conversation did the practical one make sense. Listening unlocked wisdom. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was not just a speaker of truth, he was a listener of hearts. Allah reminds us in the Quran that gentleness is key. It's not just about being soft, it's about being attuned to what the moment requires. The Prophet would ask questions that opened souls, adjusting his responses based on who stood before him. He understood that guidance lands only where the heart is ready. From a psychological perspective, rushing into solutions when someone is emotionally open can trigger the brain's threat systems. It sends the message, "You are a problem." But listening activates safety. It lowers stress and builds trust, allowing our capacity for wisdom and choice to return. This is why advice given too early often fails, not because it's wrong, but because it's premature. So, how do we deepen our connections? It starts with asking better questions. Instead of, "What do you do?" Try, "What do you love about your work?" Instead of, "Where did you grow up?" Ask, "What shaped you there?" These questions signal respect and show that the other person's inner world matters. When someone feels seen, they naturally open up to guidance. Let's apply this teaching to our personal lives. First, pause before you respond. The Prophet was deliberate in his speech, never rushed. This creates emotional safety and prevents reactive advice. Second, ask one open-ended question. This shifts the conversation from fixing to understanding. Third, name the feelings you hear. For example, saying, "That sounds overwhelming," shows compassion and validation. Fourth, seek permission before advising. Ask, "Would you like my thoughts, or do you just need me to listen?" This respects their agency and dignity. Finally, remember who you are to each other: spouse, child, friend. Upholding relationships with kindness strengthens bonds beyond the moment. In conclusion, real connection doesn't live in answers. It lives in being heard. When we stop fixing and start listening, we follow a path that honors the heart before the solution. We become mirrors, not mechanics, companions, not correctors. In our homes, workplaces, and communities, this shift can change everything. Let's embrace the power of listening and cultivate deeper connections in our lives.